وهو الذي جعلكم خلائف الأرض ورفع بعضكم فوق بعض درجات ليبلوكم فيما آتاكم إن ربك سريع العقاب وإنه لغفور رحيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that spared our soul to this moment. We worship Him, we adore Him, we glorify Him. I testify that there is no worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is His messenger. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for sparing our soul this far. Alhamdulillah, gradually we are moving to the last part of Ramadan. We are among the last 10 days of Ramadan. I'm sure we are opening our games because after this month therein, for us to see this month is going to be in another year. We'll pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to spare our soul till then. Inshallah, this time around we'll be looking at the topic, the Vicegerent and the attributes. Who is the Vicegerent? Vicegerent is someone that represents a leader or a king or a governor or somebody that is leading a particular place. And as Iman in Islam, Vicegerent has a concept. The concept of Vicegerency is traced back to the first man, Adam alayhi salam, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to create humans on earth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, before the creation of Adam, has created all creatures, all of his creatures. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created all of it. The angels, the jinns, the earth in itself, the heavens, the animals, the ecological structures, all the planets has been placed in. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now created Adam alayhi salam, who is representing all mankind up to date as that representative on earth. And Allah, out of His infinite mercy and wisdom, called on the angels. It's not that He called on them because He needed their permission. No. He just wanted to do that to show His supremacy over the angels. Allah wanted to show His supremacy over the angels. He just informed them. And angels are like, you want to create someone, just like a parent. You already know what you want to do. When you want to, for instance, if a parent wants to go out, you tell your child, I want to go to a particular place. The child might ask, Mommy, why are you going out? Do you need to go? You already know what you want to do. You only inform the child so that the child will be prepared when in case of your absence. In the same instance, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed the angels. And Allah informed both of this in Surah Al-Baqarah, Quran 2, verse 30. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I was praying to the regime, why is called Rabbuka lil mala'ikat inni ja'ilu fil ardi khalifa qalu atajalu fiha ma yasfiku diya wa nahnu nusabbihu bi amdik wa nuqaddisu laka qala inni a'lamu bima ta'lamun. Allah says, and behold, when I inform the angels, I'm going to place on earth a vicegerent. That is where the word comes from. Vicegerent. Qalu. Why is called Rabbuka lil mala'ikat inni ja'ilu fil ardi khalifa. That is where the word comes from. Because vicegerent, like I said, it means a representative. And Islam, it means we are representative of Allah on earth. Allah now says, the angel now said further, they said, do you want to, will you praise therein people who will make mischief on the earth, shed blood, while we celebrate your praises and glorify you, your holy name? He said, I know what you know not. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the reason why He wanted to create man on earth. And the angels are not aware of it. The angels too, out of the fact that they've been with Allah for a while, we don't know the number of years, they'll feel that if these people are on earth, they'll cause mischief. And Allah now told them, I know what you know not. And what is that thing that Allah knows that the angels do not? Allah wants us to come and be His representative on earth. That's why human beings are vicegerents on earth. A normal person that wants to represent a person will not do that at his own will. A vicegerent is meant to what? To represent the will of the person he or she is representing. Other words for vicegerent includes ambassador, a successor, a representative. Just like we have in occasions when a person will go and represent maybe the head of state, the commissioner, or like that. When the person goes there, the person will not be there in his own capacity. The person will be there in the capacity of the person that he or she went to represent. In the same vein, human beings are out for the purpose of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for us to represent His do's and don'ts. And that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the angels when He created Adam alayhi salam to them. So in essence, the purpose of creation of Adam alayhi salam and all humankind in general is what? Is for us to be vicegerents on earth, as explained in this verse, Quran 2 verse 30. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ensured that part of the grand plan that is created for human beings for us to come and Lord, not the lordship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but for us to come and govern all what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. That's why we're on earth. And when Allah was creating us, He made us realize that we need to come and worship Him. And for us not to deviate, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala call us to order in Surah 2, in Quran 7 verse 172, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought all creatures out from the loins of our father Adam alayhi salam, and he asked us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked us definitely that, will you worship me when you come to Allah? Said, Allah to be rabbikum qalu bala shahidna. Allah said, and am I not your Lord? And we all said, and they said, Allah, verily we testify that you are Lord. So there is nobody that will say that he or she does not know that he is created to come and worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just like Prophet Muhammad has told us that all creatures, all child are born on the feature of Islam. And it's when they get to earth that either they will change due to one thing or the other, maybe the environment, maybe their parents, or whatever form. But from these verses that I've said, Quran 7 verse 172 and Quran 3 verse 20, we know that our being on earth is what? To come and serve the purpose from which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us. So what is this purpose that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us? The purpose is for us what? To act according to the dictate of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam, the first man, he told all the angels, he said they should greet Adam alayhi salam. They all greeted him except for what? Except for Iblis. And Iblis vowed that because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has accursed him because of Adam alayhi salam, is going to what? It's going to deviate all his generations from following the dictate of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Allah told him that it is only those that follow your will that will be deviated. Allah now promised Adam alayhi salam that is going to send forth daring guidance upon guidance for all of us to follow. So what are the attributes of vicegerents? Somebody that wants to represent Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on earth. Like I told us, the vicegerent is somebody that is representing the person in the power of that person, not at their own will at their own and caprices. All humans, we are on this earth not because we chose to. We do not choose who we want to be. We do not choose either we want to be a female by our own will. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that has created us into the form that we found ourselves. So what are those attributes that are expected of us for us to be able to fulfill that purpose for which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us? Islamic scholars noted that the responsibility of vicegerents of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are what? To perfect ourselves according to the will of Allah. We are meant to perfect ourselves according to the will of Allah. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to be just in all things that we do. Now the second one is what? To perfect all human society according to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look at all these things according to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the third thing is what? To perfect the physical world of space and the whole environment according to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are not living in a vacuum. We are living on the earth's surface. We are meant to perfect ourselves. We are meant to perfect the society we live in, and we are meant to perfect this world itself that we live in. So how do we now do that? For us to do that effectively, man has to realize that given all these chances, we know that our chances is just once in a lifetime. We don't have any other time to represent Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala except once. We must know that our time is what? Is just a temporary time. Life is what? Is ephemeral. All things will perish except Allah. Kulli shay'in fani illa Allah baki. All things will perish. Even mankind that is representing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on earth, we perish. Just like if you go and represent a person, it's going to be for that limited point in time. If the function ends, your function as a representative also has ended. In the same vein, representing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on earth is only for a limited period of time. So how do you know I want to justify that time for which you are living in? We know that for us to be able to achieve what we are on earth for, we must know that this world is ephemeral and we have just one chance to live in. So and that our ultimate goal must now be what? To seek that paradise where we are going to return to. If you go out and represent someone at a function, you are definitely going to go back home. So as human being on earth, being vicegerent of Allah on earth, we know that our time is what? Is ephemeral, and we are meant to go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the end of the day, which is Al-Jannah. So we must do all things that will make us to have that grand plan of Allah, coming back to Allah, to paradise, because that is for what purpose Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us.
وَهُوَ الَّذِي جَعَلَكُمْ خَلَائِفَ الْأَرْضِ وَرَفَعَ بَعْضَكُمْ فَوْقَ بَعْضٍ دَرَجَاتٍ لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ فِيمَا آتَاكُمْ إِنَّ رَبَّكَ سَرِيعُ الْعِقَابِ وَإِنَّهُ لَغَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ.
Zakat and Sadaqah Foundation.
Aki ọmọ ìyá wa kí Ọlọ́run fi ẹ̀bùn yìí ìrànlọ́wọ́ yìí tó fi kẹ́ láti ọwọ́ àwọn Zakat and Sadaqah Foundation. Ọlọ́run bá yóò fi àlùbáríkà sí. àníyàn yín lórí ẹ̀ ni pé kẹ́ ẹ tẹ̀síwájú gẹ́gẹ́ bí ètò tí àwọn foundation náà gbé kalẹ̀. Ọlọ́run ṣe ìtẹ̀síwájú náà nírọ̀rùn. Wọ́n ń ràn yín lọ́wọ́ báyìí ni Ọlọ́run jẹ́ iná olè máa ràn yín lọ́wọ́. Torí pé inú ètò náà wọ́n ní fún development Muslim generally ni Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kẹ́ develop. Ẹ sì máa fi owó tẹ̀ máa ń gbẹ̀ ṣe nǹkan dáadáa lè tọ́lọ̀ ń yọ́nú sí. Ẹ ní fi dán tí ò dáa wò. Ẹ ní fowó tẹ̀ máa ń pa ń bẹ̀ mutí. Ẹ ní fi yàn àlè. Ẹ máa fi ṣe dáadáa fúnra yín, fáwọn ọmọ yín àti fúnjọ Mùsùlùmí.
Zais for zakah to cure our greed, when we give our money to those in need. Zais for salamun alaykum, peace be with you wa alaykum assalam. Shais for Shams, the shining sun, which Allah placed for everyone. And sighs for Salah, for when we pray, facing Him. Every day facing Him, till we meet our Lord. Allah, there's only one God, and Muhammad is His messenger. Allah, La ilaha illallah. Dies for duha, the morning light, the sun has turned from red to white. Dies for tariq, a path to walk.
Being a Vicegerent of Allah, our attributes include include the one that will enable us to achieve that goal of what representing Allah in its all entirety, with all what we're endowed with, our knowledge, our power, our beauty, whatever things that we might have been endowed with. That is what we are meant to use as being Vicegerent of Allah. And in that wise, we must, number one, that we must know that we must be accountable. If we are accountability is one of those attributes that will make us to perform our duty according to what Allah SWT wants us to do. There's very between, if one is not accountable, you can't be responsible. So accountability leads to being responsible. It's only when we are accountable that we're able to do that. If you see somebody doing what is not right, because you know you're accountable, you also want to correct that person from engaging in that bad act. If you see somebody doing what is right, you want to encourage that person to keep up doing it, because you know you're also responsible and accountable. So you must know that as Vicegerent of Allah on earth, you must be accountable, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed all what is on earth for us to monitor, for us to take charge. Just like I told us in Quran 2 verse 281 that all things on earth are for us to fulfill our purpose on earth. And the next one is what? For us to have trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We must trust him, just like that child. That child that doesn't know what's going to happen to him or her, and find herself, and the mom is telling you that it shall be okay. The child doesn't know if it's going to, a child falls, and mom says, my baby, you're going to be all right. In the same vein, you must have trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not created you in vain. So if you don't trust him, your affairs might not be right. Your affairs might not be straight, because you know that all your affairs lies at the palms of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not this physical palm, but lies with him. So it is that trust that will be able to endear you to do more and more of what you want to do. That trust, maybe for you know that whatever you're doing is not in vain. So you'll not be able to fall short. If you see people doing doing evil within your sight, you'll be able to know that I have trust in Allah. Allah is going to reward me for the little good that I might have done. Then the next one attribute is that confidence. Confidence in the sense that you, as a Vicegerent of Allah, you don't need to be shy of anybody. You should be confident of yourself as a Muslim, because that is why you're on earth. You're on earth to come and command, to bring people from the servitude of fellow human beings to the servitude of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you're not confident of yourself, you might not be able to do that. You see people doing evil, and you're not be able to stand up to them and correct them. For you to uphold even the basic little Islamic injunctions, if you're not confident about yourself as that you're a Vicegerent, you might not be able to do that. Just like like I said, other words for Vicegerent is an ambassador. If like in the normal world that we are in an embassy, if somebody, for instance, in a Nigeria embassy in other country, that embassy is standing as the territory on its own. It's standing as that country's territory. If anybody enters that country, that embassy, it is assumed that you have entered your country. Meanwhile, not in your country. The same thing as human beings on earth, we are in the country of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All human beings, especially Muslims, we are Vicegerent of Allah, and we must be confident of whatever we are, such that we will not be be shoved here and there because you are exercising Allah's right on earth. The next one is what? Sincerity. You must have a class. Sincerity. Because Allah says, Allah said, we have not created that the cross of religion is sincerity. If you know that you are on earth to come and serve as Allah's vicegerent, then you must be sincere in all affairs, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has laid down all the principles that are meant to live our life. Allah said, when Rasulullah was going, he said, yeah, I've left two things for you, the Quran and the Sunnah. So if you are not sincere in what you are doing, you might be shoved back with what people are doing. You might feel intimidated, and you yourself, you might not be doing the right thing. You might be doing things because people are there, and when people are not there, you go back to do the other way around. So as Vicegerent of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you need to be sincere in all you do, because you know that your return is what? To Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the last one is what? Is knowledge. We need to be endowed with knowledge, because it was knowledge that raised Adam alayhi salam over the angels. When Allah created Adam, from that Quran 2 verse 30 to verse 34 and there, but Allah explained what transpired between Adam and the angels. Allah put them to test. They said, the angel said that the man will come and cause mischief on earth. And Allah told Adam to mention all what was in what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created, and he mentioned all daring, and that knowledge made him to excel over the angels. In the same vein as Vicegerent of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on earth, if you are not knowledgeable, you might not be able to do that duty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has showed you to do, has entrusted on you to do. Because Allah says that it is only those that are knowledgeable that he talks to. Allah mentioned a lot of those verses in the Quran, that the knowledgeable, the wise, and the rest, and the host of others, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has glorified those people that will be above others, that their daraja, that their levels will be above others because of their knowledge. So if you want to be that Vicegerent of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you must equip yourself with knowledge. And finally, as Muslims, we know that we've only just this one life. This life is what just only once, and we must equip ourselves with all what I've mentioned and many other ones that we keep on hearing, for us to exercise our duty as Vicegerents of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on earth, and for us to return back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah will be pleased with us, and Allah will welcome us into the paradise that we are going to live therein forever. Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh.
That is for Deen al-Islam, religion with Allah since time began. That is for dhikr, remembering Allah, and Ra is for the month of Ramadan. Oh, Ramadan. That is for zakah, to cure our greed, when we give our money to those in need. That is for salamun alaykum, peace be with you, wa alaykum salam.